Graham Harrison, the 53-year-old founder of a luxury hotel chain, sat alone at a table by the window in the cozy The Lantern restaurant on the Seattle coast. He came here every year on this day to celebrate the anniversary of his company's founding, a business he had once started with his wife, Caitlin. On his finger gleamed an antique white gold ring with a sapphire and a scattering of small diamonds, a family heirloom passed down for over a century. When the waitress approached, a young woman in her 20s named Haley, with chestnut hair and thoughtful eyes, Graham didn't even glance up. But as she poured his wine, she suddenly froze, staring at the ring. Almost whispering, she said, "Excuse me, sir, but my mother has the exact same ring." Graham flinched. There were only 3 such rings in existence. His great-grandfather had commissioned them in England in the late 19th century. One was his, the second had vanished with his brother Patrick during an expedition to Iceland, and the third, he believed, had been buried with Caitlin, who died in a car crash 20 years ago. Slowly, he turned to Haley, suppressing the tremor in his voice, and asked her mother's name. Without hesitation, she replied, "Catherine Moore." He paled. Caitlin's maiden name had been Moore. His breath grew shallow. He asked how old her mother was. 48, she answered, the same age Caitlin would have been. He begged Haley to show him a photo. She pulled out her phone and displayed a recent picture. Graham froze. It was her. Older, with different eyes, a changed gaze, but undeniably her. "Where does she live?" he asked. "Portland," Haley replied, still confused. Within an hour, they were speeding down the highway in his black SUV, past quiet suburbs, until the lights of Portland appeared. It was past midnight when they stopped at the house. The door opened almost immediately. A woman stood in the doorway, her dark sweater framing silver-streaked hair. She saw Graham and dropped her keys. He whispered her name, Caitlin, and in that moment, time seemed to stop. The truth came quickly. 20 years ago, when Graham had been entangled with a shadowy investor named Richard Coleman, Caitlin realized her pregnancy made them vulnerable. After a threatening phone call, she faked her death to protect herself and their unborn child. She fled, changed her name, and started anew, far from danger. When Coleman died under mysterious circumstances, she could have returned, but didn't know how. Fear, shame, and pain held her back. They talked all night. He didn't blame her. He just looked at her and listened. Everything he thought he'd lost was still alive. 3 years later, in a seaside hotel in Auckland, Graham and Caitlin remarried. Haley walked with them down the aisle in a white dress, the sound of violins in the air. And the ring, once a symbol of their fractured past, now marked a new beginning.